everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Just going to give it a minute or so just so that everyone can log on and join in. Welcome to the Altenew live stream. We are streaming live on the Altenew YouTube page and the Facebook page, and I am so happy to be here with you guys because you've made it when work doesn't feel like work. I love spending time with you guys. So, if you guys are chatting, make sure to if you want to get a chance to share, a chance to win a $15 certificate, do share your the live stream with your friends and get a chance to win a certificate and let us know if you are sharing. And I would love to know where you guys are tuning in from. So, my name is Tania Ahmed, and I am in the UK. You'll see I'm wearing my glasses today, so you might see the glare from my lights. So it's very dark here. It's 8:30 p.m. and I've had a really busy day, and this is my relaxing fun time making messes with you guys. So just checking, there's so many of you tuning in from on the YouTube channel as well as the Facebook page. I see some lovely regulars. I see Giomara and Tina and Sue. And I did see someone who's tuning in from Wisconsin, from Maine, Ohio, Orlando, Connecticut. Is that how you pronounce it? Connecticut? Um, Minnesota, Ohio, Surrey, Canada. I had to double check that because we have a Surrey over here in the UK as well. We have a county. North Carolina, Canberra, Australia. Oh my goodness, 7:30 in the morning. Good morning to you, Glittered Rose on YouTube. So what we are doing is I am going to be playing with the the lovely gouache, the artist gouache set. So this was something that came out last I think it was either last year or the year before. And I just absolutely love these. And I was just swooning when Altenew came out with gouache. And I've been meaning to try gouache out. Gouache is not a new medium or paint supply. It's something that's been around for hundreds of years. Um, but it's something that's become very trendy in the last couple of years in the artist community. So it's just I'm just looking at the comments. It's like so many lovely people tuning in. It's really nice to spend time with you guys. So what I have here, I have my cup of peppermint tea, and we are going to have a play. So I'm going to stop waffling on in front of the camera. Let me put this somewhere where I'm not going to knock this over. Let me put it right there and out of the way because there's a likelihood that I might dip my paintbrush in my tea. I'm drinking peppermint tea because it's late here. I don't let myself have tea after after 7 p.m. Otherwise, I sleep really badly. Okay, so I've switched my camera around, and already you can see there's a giant mess here. But we're crafters. This is how we do things. Is that when we are given a surface area, we will thoroughly cover it and then end up only working within like 2 square inches of space. So today what we're going to be doing is going to give you a brief overview of supplies that we're using. So yes, Misty, I know we should Altenew needs to come out with a mug that says not paint water. Okay, so now we've got the artist gouache. And we're going to be playing with these, and we've got the watercolor pencils as well. And Altenew recently came out with a white and a black gouache, which is something that a lot of us requested and really felt was like something that would really add on to the Strolling Through New York set. Now, if you wanted to, I believe, if you wanted to learn more about the gouache and wanted to take a class, I believe Altenew is doing an offer on the Gouache 101 class on the Altenew Academy, and I think it's free right now. So if you wanted to, you can sign up to the class and learn a little bit more in depth about gouache and things you can do and its properties. So gouache is basically like watercolors, but it's opaque, and that's the very, very simplified way of uh, explaining it. So Marianne has just asked that question. So gouache is it's got the same properties as watercolor, except where watercolors are translucent, gouache are opaque or slightly more opaque than watercolors. And you can do the same techniques or and even more so because of its opaque qualities. And what's really lovely about it is gouache will looks really stunning against dark backgrounds. So what I'm going to do is first of all, I'm going to show you some of my samples that I did for the class. So this is just like one of my basic brush strokes that I just used some leftover paint that I had. I didn't want to waste it, so I just slapped it on some just watercolor cardstock with a paintbrush. So what we're going to be doing today in this class, we're going to be making a really, really simplified fruit print. Now, if you look on someplace like Pinterest, Pinterest is my favorite place to look for inspiration, and you look at surface pattern design, there it's really good to look at those kind of designs, because then you can see that how some things are simplified into simple shapes that even anyone can draw. Like I am no artist, but sometimes when you simplify things, you can fake it till you make it. That's my honestly, that's my motto with art in general. Just keep trying until you really get it. And the my biggest thing also with crafting in general is that practice makes progress, and you need to keep practicing, make more art, make bad art, make art you love, make art you hate, and even after that make even more art, and just keep practicing, because practice is what's going to get you better day by day. Trust me, it works. If I can figure this out, then anyone can. So we're going to be making fruit prints like this. And I would love to know if you guys have tried gouache, or if you have them, and if you have them and you haven't opened them as well. Because hand on my heart, I have done that before. I bought products and then I've never used them because I'm too scared to try them. But it's okay. What we're going to do is we're going to have a play, and we're going to learn things. So this is one background that I did, was just to show off how gouache pops really well against darker backgrounds. This was just an abstract background I made. These are just different kinds of brush strokes that you could and techniques that you can do with gouache. You could do stippling. You can layer. You can layer on top of each other. You can create stylized leaves and art and flowers. And you can experiment with how opaque or translucent it is, depending on how much you water it down. But we're going to be doing some different techniques as well with the gouache. And here's one where I created like a gradient ombre kind of background. This is one that slightly failed, But what you can do is you can put salt on, rock salt on, or kosher salt on gouache while it's still wet, just like with watercolor. And what it would do, it would kind of puddle up the paint, and it gives this really interesting kind of texture there. So this was where I let it dry too much, but you can do that as well. Here's another one of those brush strokes that I made just using some leftover paint. And this was the very first demo piece that I did with the with the um, with the gouache when I first got it. Because first of all, when I get a supply with when I get a brand new supply, I always say, you guys will hear me say this, and I will keep repeating it until I sound like a broken record, which I probably already am, that do make a swatch. If you're not sure about how to use your brand new supplies, take them out, open that packaging up immediately, and do a swatch. Because doing a swatch will get you out of that frame of mind that, oh, I need to create a masterpiece. It needs to be beautiful and perfect. And a swatch is like one of those, like a low hanging fruit kind of activity where you're like, oh, okay, it doesn't have to be perfect, and I can just have a play and learn their properties. And doing a swatch will tell you what the colors look like out of the tube, because sometimes packaging can be deceptive. So, okay, so this was one that a demo piece that I first did, and this was the demo piece that I did in the class, the Gouache 101 class as well. So I created a gradient background with 3 colors, and then on top of that, I created some flowers, so you can see how the gouache really pops against that dark background. And depending on how much water you added, you can make it really opaque or quite translucent to get some really cool wispy effects. And then you can layer them on top of each other. Now, do keep in mind that gouache, we'll talk more about this, that gouache will reactivate when you add more water on top. But you've got a little bit of give room there as well. So if you are watching or playing around, if you're watching and you have the gouache, or even if you have some other Altenew mediums, I encourage you to take them out and just do a swatch, because that's going to get you out of that that kind of frame of mind where you've got analysis paralysis. I need a sip of peppermint tea. Oh, that's lovely. So we've got these, and then we've got the new gouache, the titanium white and the carbon black. So I take them out of the packaging just to show you guys that they are much larger packaging as compared to the normal ones. So these are 15 mil, and this is 50 mil. So 0.5 fluid ounce and 1.7 fluid ounce. So you've got loads. You've got loads there. But I personally love that because these two are probably going to be my most used gouache. Because when you've got a white and a black, then you can create tint, tones, and shades, and create like different shades across the paints. So you've got a lot more versatility when you've got a white and a black. So we've got these. I'm sorry they don't look perfect. This is like doing my head in because my daughter, bless her, she just chucked them out of the packaging and it just fell down. But before she could put them in her mouth, I quickly like got them out of her hands while trying not to scream. So these are the beautiful colors there. You've got some really stunning blues, you've got 2 greens, you've got 2 pinks, we've got a maroony mahogany red and a ruby red, and we've got a primary yellow as well. And of course, you've got the Altenew's, the fine artist watercolors as well. So these are 8 ml, so they're a smaller tube, but a little goes a long way with these. And you've also got the watercolor metallics as well, which you can use them interchangeably. So, and then we've got the watercolor pencils. I love these. These are the woodless watercolor pencils. And I'll see if I can, if we have time towards the end and my paint has dried enough, then we're going to add some more texture on top of the painting with the watercolor pencils. So as far as substrates that I'm going to be using are the Altenew ones. So these are the Altenew sort of legacy watercolor paper sets. So you've got the 4.25 by 5.5, which would fit perfectly on top of an A2 card. And then you've got the 9 by 12 inch paper pad as well. So these are loose sheets, and this is a paper pad. So this is cold pressed, which means that they have a little bit of a texture to them. But to be fair, these ones, they're quite smooth. These ones are quite smooth. So, and if you want to get a bit more technical with these as well, is like the larger sheets, they're 100% cotton. The watercolor, the smaller loose sheets are 50% cotton. And that kind of affects how absorbent they are to whatever liquid mediums you apply on top. And so what we're going to be playing with today is, these are also new. They came out a month or two ago, I believe. So these are they're both 5 by 7 inches. They're both loose sheets. So this set comes in, I've got the cold press, which have a bit of texture to them. So I've got 10 sheets here. And then we're going to be working on the hot pressed ones, which you've got 30 sheets here. So it's a matter of personal preference, which one you want to use. Actually, I might take out one of each so that we can do like a live demonstration of, and I'll share my thoughts about how the mediums behave on both the sets. So let me just check. I think there was a question. And these paints and the paints and the paper can also be bought as a set. And if you wanted to, if you don't fancy doing drawing, then Altenew also has these paint by number sets as well. This is called Classical Rose. You've got 6 sheets in there, and they are 8 by 10 watercolor paper. They're really thick, so they're 300 GSM. And you've got these 3 designs, and you've got 2 of each of them. And obviously, as with all Altenew products, you've got some really good guides here about which colors you can use. And you can use these with the watercolors as well. But they're really stunning with gouache, and any numbers that are on there will get covered up because the gouache are opaque enough to do that. So this is like a really stunning set that you can buy as a bundle as well with the gouache, if that's what you're interested in. And I'm going to be working with some watercolor brushes, which is what you can use with the gouache. So let me just write down on here which one's which. But you can, I wonder if you can see on camera that this one is a bit textured and this one is smoother. So this is the cold press and this is the hot press. Some people like using hot press, the smoother paper more, and some people like using the cold pressed more. It's personal preference. I like both. sometimes I like cold press more, but it also depends on what technique you are going to be doing. And I have this pad of paper on the side. This is palette paper, which you can just use to put your paints on. You can, if you've got like a little plate, you can just use that as well. So let me set my things out so that we are a little bit more clear. So I'm just gonna lay out my colors, and I'm just gonna have a look to see. Yes, Tracy, unfortunately, she wants to be just like mommy, and she loves coming into my studio, and because there's lots of different things to touch and fiddle around with. Can you use gouache and pan watercolors together? Yes, Tracy, yes, you can. But do keep in mind that the colors will reactivate. That is just that is just what the properties of the gouache and watercolors are. They will reactivate. But it can be a fun technique to try. So what I've got here, this is Misty Teal. And we've got Primary Cyan, which I just adore. I love this color so much. So if you guys are interested in learning more about any of the different mediums that Altenew has, just put them in the comments section, because I've got another live coming up in February. I think towards the end of February. And if you like, I can explore more mediums with you guys as well. I keep meaning to do one dedicated entirely to the metallic watercolors, because I love those. Oh my goodness. So I'm not going to do all of them. I've just got some blues and purples. I told myself I wouldn't do blues and purples, and here I am taking out blues and purples. Let me know what your favorite colors are in the comments, guys. I would love to know. Or do you have a favorite Altenew color? So I'm just going to do these for now, and then I'm going to put out some black and some white. So these, they come with a protective foil thingy-majingy, very technical term. Oh, that is smooth. That is smooth. What is it about opening new supplies that just lights my brain up? So Tracy says she used the metallic watercolors with calm reflection, made them look like opals. Oh, lovely. I'm going to put some white down, a bit more white than black, because black is very opaque and we don't want it to overpower. And what I'll do is, I've got a China graph pencil here, which is basically an all surface pencil, which does not react with water. So I've just put a line of that down just to show you guys that it... I was wondering where I'd put my white one. This is one of my favorites. This is the 18 size brush, and I'm wondering if you can see these. So I've got two pots of water here. This is just dirty paint water here, so it's gone slightly blue, and I've got one clear, and then I've got one extra jar here as well. So this keeps, so that this stops my colors from muddying too much. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold a piece of kitchen towel in my hand just to get rid of any excess water. Now, okay, so which color should we play with? Let's start with the pink. So this is the baby pink that I have, and I'm just put down a little bit of water, and I'm just dissolving some of that that gouache into that water, just to loosen it up. And I want a lot of pigment in that water because I want it nice and opaque. So let's see. So I just put down a thick layer, so you can see that the black actually got covered quite a bit there. Let me know if you guys need me to lower the camera a bit, or if this angle is okay. And let me just put down a little bit of that as well. And the gouache are, they're quite buildable as well, so which is a nice property as well. So I just put down a lighter layer of paint there, so you can see some of the paint there, but it still covered the black mark there quite a bit. So with the cold press, I can feel like it's absorbing the medium a lot more, and with the hot press, the paint is sitting on the surface a little bit more. So that can be like something to consider when you're doing different techniques. So let me just... And then what you can also do is you can just do some really fun techniques. Is I'm just taking some of that coral red and just mixing that in to get like another more like a more orangey kind of pink there as well. And just by mixing colors, you don't be afraid of, mixing your paints and mediums, just to see what kind of effects you get. I love that. That is a gorgeous color. And then that way you can get like different variations as well on your paints. So I think we're going to be doing the demo today on, let's do it on hot press, so that we can get that really super smooth effect. So I'm just going to set these to the side, and I would love to know if you guys are playing or watching or drinking a beverage of your choice. Oh, before we start the demo, I would like to show you guys some fun techniques. So I've got this Altenew stencil here. I believe it's called On the Plus Side. And I have some good old Vaseline here, or petroleum jelly, depending on wherever you are. And then I've got like one of those mini blending brushes, and I'm just putting some Vaseline on. So this is like a really old school resist technique. Who remembers doing this? Somebody asked a question about vellum. I don't have any vellum near me right now, but it would depend on the brand, because some are a bit more porous than the others. Okay, so this is like a really old school resist technique. So I've got a really thin layer of Vaseline on my mini brush, and this brush I have solely dedicated to Vaseline. And what I'm doing is I'm just applying a really, really fine layer of the Vaseline through the stencil. Who remembers doing this technique in the old days? And if you wanted to, you could just do use some texture paste, some Altenew embossing paste, or you could use some clear embossing powder as well. But I love using Vaseline because of how flat it is. So it won't really show up much on camera. I wonder, you can kind of see the reflection of it there. And let's try doing a gradient. Let's activate some of that blue. I should have left a bit more space in there. And then what I'm going to do is make that a bit more watery because we want to blend those colors in. I'm very, very lightly brushing that paint in. Just do blended background. So you can see where I have the Vaseline down is resisting the paint. And you can basically do this with any of Altenew's liquid mediums. You can do this with the watercolors, the watercolor brush markers, their re-inkers. Because I believe that you should never take your supplies seriously, because that's when your supplies will metaphorically kind of start telling you what you should or shouldn't do. And I really firmly believe that you should definitely learn the rules, but then you should also break them as well. So absolutely have a play. So this is one way of doing a resist technique. I'm going to let that dry a little bit first before I buff that paint off. And then what you could do is you could also use something like a clear or a white crayon as well to doodle in some designs and then get some resist effects there. So does the Vaseline start sticky? Yes, Pam, it would. So what I would suggest doing is doing a really, really light layer with the Vaseline so that it's not too sticky. Because when I start buffing away the wet paint on there, it's going to lift away that Vaseline as well. And then make sure that you're just changing around your tissue. And then you got that lovely soft resist effect there as well. How do you clean the bending brushes? Okay, so the Vaseline one, I have that brush dedicated completely to the Vaseline. But if you wanted to, you could clean it with some Murphy's oil solution. So that's one fun way of using the gouache as well. I could have done like a more darker layer at the top. Could have done a better job of that, but we are having fun here. Okay, so let me start our demo piece because I can see that a half hour has already passed by. So I'm going to take out a sheet of the hot press. And I've got some Altenew washi tape here. Just going to use that to mask. Am I in frame? I should be a bit higher. Yeah. And then I'm going to use the mat. This is an Altenew mat that I'm using underneath here. I'm going to use that to line up my washi tape so that I get a nice flush border. So just sorry for being quiet. I'm just concentrating so that I can line it up. So I'm using the grid lines of the mat that's underneath. Yes, Nancy, I absolutely adore all of the Altenew blending brushes. I mean, I think I probably have them all. I have the larger ones, the smaller ones, the long ones, the short ones. I have them all, but I love them. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to create, first of all, we're going to divide the page into sections. Now, if you think about composition, it's sometimes not a good idea to split your page in half. So what I mean is when we're going to be creating that fruit print here, where has the fruit print run off to? Ah, the fruit print has gone walkabout. Well, I'm sure when I watch the replay, I will find it again. Here we go. Here it is. So I've got the fruit print here, and I haven't divided it completely in half because composition-wise, it won't look right when it's like dead center. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of draw a rough line here to create my sort of background and my foreground. And then what fruit are we going to do? What fruit should we do, guys? I was thinking of doing a lemon. Or we could do an apple, a lemon, or a strawberry. Let me start. And then if you think about a lemon, it's like a kind of like an ovally kind of shape. So we draw a rough sort of circle there. And maybe I would like to move it a little bit lower. Got my Altenew eraser here. I love it so much. We can erase these lines afterwards. Let's sort of got sort of rough circle there, and then kind of lemon I had in mind. Should we tilt it a little bit? I think we should tilt it a little bit. So that it's like resting on its side a bit. And then kind of create that little pointed kind of end on the other side. We can make the lines a little bit firmer afterwards. Does this look sufficiently lemon-like? Yes, it does. I like going on Pinterest and getting some inspiration there. Let's make this end a little bit more pointy. And I'm not pressing my pencil down too hard. That looks lemon-like. It just needs to have the suggestion that it looks like a lemon, because if you say that it's a lemon, then it is a lemon. And then I'm just drawing this stump there, and then should we do a leaf? One leaf. I actually have a lemon tree that I grew from seed. It was just a lemon that I got from the grocery store, and just as an experiment, I just wanted to see whether it would grow. And I actually managed to sprout the seed in between some, put it between some damp kitchen towel, and I was able to sprout it. I was really surprised. And then when it grew long enough, big enough, then I put it in a pot, and now it's almost as tall as I am. So that is our lemon. It looks more like a mango, but when we paint it, it will be more lemon-like. Ooh, lots of other fruits. We'll see. I'll show you guys how to sketch out an avocado as well. What you could do with an avocado is you could do a drawing of a cut open avocado with its pit as well. And I have also grown an avocado from seed as well. They're surprisingly easy to grow. So first of all, what we're going to do is let's paint in the lemon, and then while it dries, we can do the background, and then if we have time, we'll add some more details on. So just opening up the yellow. So I've got primary yellow here, and it's a bit more darker than I would like it to be. So I'm just going to add in a touch of white to it just to lighten it up. It's more like one of those really big Californian lemons. Wet paintbrush. So I'm using a size 1 here. Just going to put that in some clean water. Just going to put some water there on the side. So I'm just having a look. Tracy did the same with some red peppers. Keep it inside, blooming. Peppers are also really easy to grow. I'm actually looking forward to growing more fruits and vegetables at home with my daughter. Oh, that is really opaque. So once you're happy with the consistency, what you can do is you don't have to go direct on to your panel, whatever panel you're painting on. You can test it out first to see whether you're happy with the consistency and the color as well. So I quite like that. So I'm just going to go in and just do like a start blocking that color in. And what I love about the gouache is how they dry flat and matte. And if you wanted it to be a bit more textured, then you can definitely add less water. I'm not too concerned about the outlines just yet because I can just go over it again and layer it up and make it more opaque. So does anyone have any questions so far? And when you don't have to, I'm not going to be doing any like serious shading here. Maybe I just might add like some highlights with Now that I have that in, it looks too mango-like to me. So I might just change the shape of it ever so slightly, like that. What fruit does this look like to you guys? This doesn't look lemon-like to me. I can't check on the internet right now. I should have printed out a reference photo. So I'm going to let that first layer dry, and then I'll see if I want to add some more. And we need some green. Now with the background, what color background should we do? Let's hear combinations. What color background should we do? I was thinking maybe a red and a purple, or maybe some kind of blue. A blue and a purple. I would love to know what color backgrounds you guys would like me to do. Because we're going to do like a color block background like this. Sky blue and dark indigo. A stone blue. I've got ombre. I know, Ali, I really fancy some mango now. It's not the right season for them because they're more of a summer fruit. I know you can get them in some supermarkets all year round, but the fruit, especially, you guys, I'm originally from Pakistan, and I am very biased. But I must say that Pakistan does the best mangoes. The best mangoes. So if you have like a South Asian store near you, I would highly recommend that during the summer, go and get yourself some Pakistani mangoes. Because I kid you not, you will never have tried mangoes like Pakistani mangoes. Oh, that makes me feel really homesick now. What my mom sometimes does for guests is she would freeze mangoes if we had guests coming. So my mom would sometimes freeze mangoes for her guests to have like a couple of months down the line. So the gouache covers the pencil lines? Yes. Yes, it does. Because some of the paints are a bit more translucent, they won't cover them completely. So I can kind of see the pencil lines over here. I'm not sure if you can see them on camera. But what I can do is I'm going to let this layer dry a bit first. And then I can go over it again to cover up some more of those pencil lines. I hope that answers your question. So what we're going to paint in that stem after I've done the background. So I think this is dried a bit. Let me go over it again with a darker. Oops, my brush isn't clean. Tania, clean your brush. What time is it? Oh, 10 minutes. You've got 10 minutes. Let's do this quickly. So what color combinations, Ali, what color combinations are winning? Guys, I think we are declaring this a mango. Okay, so pink, blue. So green and purple. So let's go with the pale purple and the blue. So we'll do like a blue background. Okay, that might be a bit too big, that brush. Let's do a quick. So I'm just mixing the Prussian blue and the primary cyan to create like a custom color. And just make sure that the tape is down really, really well because we don't want that bleeding under the page. That looks really stunning, those two colors together. I could have easily done 2 hours of this. I can't believe how the time just quickly just slipped by. Yes, Ali, this is a mango. It wanted to be a lemon, but it became a mango. I'm being really careful with the green because it's still a bit wet. So what I did was I just mixed the Prussian blue and the primary cyan to get this gorgeous shade. It's still wet, so I'm just kind of moving the paint around. We have 7 minutes. Can we finish this in 7 minutes? Yeah. So, and with the bottom, what color did we decide? We decided the pale purple, didn't we? That will be a nice contrast with the, actually we've got the dark purple, which is called, we've got the ultraviolet and the lavender. I'm going to mix those two to get another color. Oh my goodness, that, oh, you guys, this color. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy. Being really careful to go around that. Our imposter lemon mango. Really sus. Oh my goodness, I am in love with this purple that I got blending the ultraviolet and the lavender. Wow. Did I burnish that washi tape down well enough? Okay, so we've got that done. Oh, I was gonna put my paintbrush in my tea. Yes, it does look like periwinkle, Tracy. Yes, our imposter lemon. Okay, so I'm just gonna do the stem. So gonna take that black and just blend that in with some of that green to get like a hint of forest green. And I'm going to create like a little divot thing there. So we've got that. Now we're going to add some more shading, but we're going to do that with the watercolor pencils. Okay. shall we create like a solid outline? Or shall we go in color on color? Let's do color on color. Yeah. So that will create a bit of shading as well as fill in that little outline as well. And if you wanted to, you could reactivate it as well. I'll probably go over it with the brown as well. With a lighter hand, I'm just going to add some shading, go over in that background as well. And these are watercolor pencils, so obviously you can activate them with a little bit of water just to add a bit more hint of shading if you wanted to. Just going to go over that leaf as well. That gives it some really nice definition. The green paint is still wet, but that's okay. And I'm just going to add some more shading on there as well. And then we don't want our lemon to just float there. So I'm just going to add a little bit of shading. You guys, I can't believe we managed to finish in time. So just going to add a little bit of shadow underneath, just a hint of a shadow, nothing fancy. Just so that it doesn't seem like it's floating there. I want to fix that somehow. Shall we do some blue? Oops. Just having a look at the comments. That dried fast. It's still wet in some places, Roxy, to be fair. But because I was working in thin layers, it did dry quite fast. And what I'm going to do afterwards is I'm going to add some more another layer of the blue on top. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking a wet brush and I am kind of blending out that watercolor pencil just to blend it and soften it as well. I'm not sure if you can see it on camera, but I'm just softening it a bit as well so that it doesn't look so harsh. We've got 1 minute. Let me just touch that and then I'll switch the camera around and we'll do the review as well. And you just go over the gouache with a really, really light hand because obviously it's going to reactivate and you don't want to mess it up too much. Just kind of keep the colors as together as possible. Just going to give it some shading there. Do we want to add a highlight dot? I think we should do that. Let's do a highlight dot. We do 1, 2, 3 because I like odd numbers. Here's our imposter lemon. Ta-da! Let me peel the paint off and then I'll switch the camera around. Oh, let me put these to the side as well. Put them in their box. I love this little container. I love it when craft supplies come with storage. How satisfying is that? Maybe the border was a bit too thick. I could have used a thinner tape, but I think this will look really nice in a frame. Here we go. Here is our finished little imposter lemon fruit print. Mangon. Oh, you guys are the best. Let me switch the camera around. Mangon. Oh, you guys are absolutely best. Yes, Misty, the best part is pulling the tape. And it really, really does look nice when the paint is burnished down. So when you're putting the washi tape down, make sure that you're pressing the edges down really well because you don't want any of that paint bleeding under. So I'm just going to put that here in shot like that. Yeah. But thank you all so much for tuning in and for having a laugh with us. And if you have any questions, just pop them in the comments. I'll have a quick look afterwards at the comments section and answer in the comments afterwards. You can watch a recording of this afterwards on the Altenew YouTube channel as well as the Facebook page. And I want to thank you all for being so lovely and for, playing along with me and chatting. Take care and have a great day. Thank you, everyone. Bye.